This is Lou Dobbs Tonight. News, debate, and opinion. An independent view. Here again, Kitty Pilgrim.
Angry lawmakers today showed just how fed up they are with the Bush administration's handling of the federal bailout. Now, they're trying to take control of the program. Many Democrats and Republicans say the bailout has been shrouded in secrecy and no one is being held accountable. Lisa Sylvester has our report.
Yeah. Thank you,
Some lawmakers are calling it like they see it, saying Secretary Henry Paulson doesn't seem to have a clue how to staunch the financial crisis.
It appears that you seem to be flying a $700 billion plane by the seat of your pants.
Lawmakers say banks are not lending as they're supposed to. Help to homeowners that was promised is not being delivered. And the Paulson plan has morphed into something completely different than what was initially sold to Congress. Congress gave Paulson the purse strings to half of the $700 billion approved for the financial bailout. Paulson says he will hold the remaining $350 billion for the Obama administration. But Senator Bernie Sanders wants to cut off future bailout funds. He has introduced legislation to freeze spending of the second $350 billion tranche.
I think the American people are outraged at the greed and recklessness of Wall Street and the fact that we had to have the middle class bail out these masters of the universe.
You might expect that from the Senate's only self-proclaimed socialist. But conservative Republican James Inhofe has introduced a similar bill. Some fiscal conservatives are dismayed at the lack of accountability and transparency.
Among the members of Congress that I've been talking to, the more conservative ones, they're having a little bit of buyer's remorse right now.
Paulson, defending his decisions, said economic conditions on Wall Street were rapidly deteriorating and required him to move quickly and change course when it was necessary.
Senator Sanders is hopeful that his bill will be taken up, but there is a reality here. Congress has a lame duck session this week and then leaves for the holiday break. We call Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid's staff to see if these bills will be taken up. Their answer, very unlikely. Kitty?
All right, thanks very much, Lisa Sylvester. Well, as Lisa just reported, Congress is demanding oversight of the bailout program. Senator Jim Inhofe says Congress signed a blank check over to the Treasury Department, and now he's working to correct that. Senator Inhofe today introduced legislation that would require congressional approval for the spending the remaining bailout funds, and he joins me now. Senator Inhofe, you voted twice against this. Now you want action. Why are you so convinced that this is the way to go?
Well, first of all, Kitty, when it first came up, I opposed it, and I opposed it because if you read the bill that we passed, it didn't say, even though the Secretary of the Treasury was talking about using it to buy up damaged assets, that's not what it said. It said $700 billion, and it turns out for anything that he wants. Now, I am very critical of him because of that. And now we don't know for sure what. I only found out today, and here I am, a senior member of the United States Senate, how much money is left of that $350 billion. It's about $60 billion. So I have introduced a bill, and it's called Senate Bill 3683, and it would freeze any further spending. And if you look at just what's left now and the $350 billion that would come up, I'm very much disturbed because there is a process to enter into that, to access that $350 billion. And that means that if we're not here in session, then it'll be done unilaterally by the Treasury Department. When in the history of America has one unelected person had the control of a massive amount of money like this? Total control to do with whatever he wishes.
Well, you make a fair point, sir, but they say special circumstances call for special measures. Let me just bring up what Secretary Paulson said. He testified before the House Financial Services Committee today, and let's listen to what he said.
Of the Treasury, the Fed, and the FDIC have stabilized our financial system. The authorities in the TARP have been used to strengthen our financial system and to prevent the harm to our economy and financial system from the failure of a systemically important institution.
Now, he says this is working. Is it not dangerous to slam on the brakes suddenly?
Well, no, he has actually said that the markets have stabilized. And if they've stabilized, why do we need to leave more than $350 billion out there for someone to spend without any oversight? Let's keep in mind, this has never been done before. There's always been some type of oversight, congressional oversight or otherwise. Now there's none whatsoever. And so one of two things can happen. When we peel out of here on Friday or whenever Harry Reid lets us go, we're going to be adjourned. That means that we're not going to be there to stop him if he wants to access another $350 billion. Now, the other possibility is it'll go off to the next administration. That's a scary thought, to think that the Obama administration is going to have $350 billion sitting out there to do whatever they want to do with. I'm very much concerned about it. I think our only chance to stop this thing is my legislation, and I doubt seriously that Harry Reid will allow it to get on the floor.
Why are you concerned about the next administration having some weapons to fight whatever they need to fight in the financial crisis?
Because I think, judging from the rhetoric that we got during the Obama campaign, it'll just go off to meet some of these obligations, that some of the things that he said he was going to do, having nothing to do with the economy. It's just a blank check that is sitting right there, $350 billion.
Well, certainly a blank check was the cause of concern right from the beginning with this. You know, we should point out that there was a very dramatic reversal by Secretary Paulson last week, where he just said that toxic assets, buying up toxic assets wasn't necessary. It was a complete reversal. Are you worried about the direction that this money is being spent in, or do you feel that there's no direction?
Well, I'm just saying this. In the 2 weeks prior to the October 1st vote, all we heard from Secretary Paulson was, it has to be assets. We got to buy up the assets. It has to be done. That's what the money's going to be used for. Everyone believed it, and that's the reason so many of the people voted for it. Then it wasn't that at all. It's just whatever he wants to do. And again, this has never happened before. And I think it has to have some oversight. Right now, all they're talking about in Congress is, well, what are we going to do about having a new inspector watching what's going on? It's too late to talk about that, because my belief is by another month from now, the money will be gone.
Right. You know, I really have to get your thoughts on the big three automakers. They're appealing for $25 billion. What do you think of that?
Well, that's what I said back when I opposed this bill. I said, you wait. There are going to be other people in line. They're going to be right. They're going to be watching. Yes, we're going to bail out the banks. So let's get in line there in the next auto industry. And I even said this and said, what about the aviation industry and everyone else? Is that government's responsibility to bail everyone out? And I think not. I think that'd be a very bad thing to do. And I think if we bailed out the auto industry, it wouldn't change the management. It wouldn't change the union contracts, the ones that really created the problem. And so I think they're going to have to take some other route, at least with my vote.
Thank you very much, Senator Jim Inhofe. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Coming up, will she or won't she? New speculation tonight on whether Hillary Clinton will be the next Secretary of State. We'll have the very latest on